Okay, so IGN have released their 100 top RPGs of all time, and apparently it is controversial. And yeah, I wouldn't even call it controversial. I would call it unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's their opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, no matter how completely stupid that opinion might be. So, yeah, let's have a look at this. I'm not looking at all 100. I can tell you from I have been told, reliably informed, that this list does not contain a Dragon Age, which is a definite Woodiford moment, and it does not contain Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines. The second I found out it didn't have that in its top 100, they immediately got on my we're going to go and rip this apart list. I'm sorry, but if you've not played Vampire Masquerade's the Bloodlines game, it's brilliant. I mean, it's dated. There are a lot of little issues with it, but superb game, absolutely superb RPG. So yeah, I was already predisposed to find fault. So, having said that, I appreciate it's all about opinion, and everyone's opinion is different. So let's have a look at what they've put as number one: Final Fantasy VI. Now that's probably a taste thing. Final Fantasy games never really did it for me. However, all right, if you like that, I'm sure it's a great game. Then brilliant. But number one, I mean the ones I've mentioned already, but this game was better than what the Mass Effect series, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game was better than The Witcher. Well, the later the director's cut version. It was better than Morrowind. It's better than the Ultima series. I mean, what? Seriously? I mean, I'm finding that one a tough one. That number one tough. So let's go and have a look at number 10 and work our way back. Fallout 3. Okay, now you're cooking. I would have put Fallout 3 in my top 10. I'm a big Fallout fan, but believe it or not, unlike a lot of Fallout fans, my favourite Fallout games are 1 and 3. I love being a Vault Dweller. There you go. I love the Tolkien-esque story of those two games. You start off in the proverbial hobbit hole, and you're sort of innocent to the ways of the real world, and you're thrust out, very much in a sort of birthing analogy, out into the real world, of which you know nothing about, on a noble quest. In Fallout 1, it was to find a water chip to save your vault. And in number 3, it was obviously just to find your dad, but eventually, again, it's very water related. Now, they were different games, but I like that feeling. I liked all the Fallout games, and actually, probably Fallout 3 is the one I probably prefer, which is a controversial statement in the Fallout world, and people go, "Oh, no true Fallout fan," yada yada yada. But I don't believe in the whole "no true Scotsman" fallacy. Everyone finds something different out in a game. So in Fallout, some people like the humour, some people like the moral ambiguity, and I've already told you what I liked about it. I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed New Vegas and I enjoyed Fallout 2 as well. Love the humour, love the games, but I like Fallout 3. So, and also I am biased because I'm a mod maker, and Fallout 3 is where I started. So, hey. So far, hey, you're winning me back now. You're winning me back. Mass Effect. All right. Now you're getting me. Now you're getting me because I was dead surprised to find I liked Mass Effect. It didn't look like the type of game I would like. I like very gritty games. But Mass Effect drew me in. The story was so intense. The characters really well done. And even though it always felt a little like a console game to me, absolutely loved it. One of my top games ever. I actually would have had it higher than 9, but then I probably would have had Fallout 3 higher than 9 as well. The Mass Effect, the whole series, just absolutely incredible. So yeah, okay, you're getting me back again. World of Warcraft, you just lost me in an enormous way. I'm not saying it wasn't genre defining, because it was, but it was genre defining for obsessive compulsive people. I played several MMORPGs, and I appreciate that World of Warcraft was probably the best marketed game. But to call it to call it even the best MMORPG is probably a stretch. I'm sorry, I believe there were games that were superior to it in some ways that were more demanding. However, I wouldn't put any MMORPG in the top 10 list. Because an RPG for me is not just about grinding stats. RPGs should be about story, playing a role. I'm an old-time RPGer. My time goes back to pen and paper, and it wasn't all about what your stats were in your paper. It was about the story, and that's important to me. And I never feel it in MMORPGs. The stories just do not work. I'm sorry, they just don't. The world lacks that immersion, and everyone wants to be a hero, and there's 1,000 of you on a server, and you can't all be heroes. So it never does it for me. But all right, number 8. If you're judging it by how it affected the genres, all right, I guess you're not winning me over. But all right. Skyrim. I liked Skyrim. And I've liked all the Elder Scrolls games, and I thought Skyrim was, in some ways, a very nice evolution of the series. I liked what they did with the character advancement. I liked the way they made it a little bit more natural and require less macro management, because I love skill systems and I love complicated perk trees, etc. But I don't want to feel like before I sleep I must go and hit 200 rats in the face with my mace to make sure I maximise my endurance when I wake up. Things like that are artificial, and with games like Morrowind, you did do that, I'm afraid. Once you got enough to level, you checked your score, you checked the piece of paper where you put tick marks on everything, and oh no, I still need 4 more skill advancements in an endurance-based one, otherwise I won't maximise when I sleep, and off you went and did something mind-numbingly boring for a while. Skyrim has sort of removed that, which I like. And it's simplified it, but in a way that still makes sense. So I quite liked that, but I know a lot of people didn't. I loved the character interaction in Skyrim. I thought it was a nice improvement, and I really felt more attachment to the people of Skyrim, especially things like the Companions quest. I really did feel very much more part of a family with the Companions, and I love taking followers like Jizargo, etc. I just for some reason felt more connected to the people of Skyrim than any previous Elder Scrolls game. Having said that, Skyrim is not better than Morrowind, in my opinion. Morrowind had a better story, it had a better atmosphere, there was something about Morrowind that had a very unique charm, and so the fact that they put Skyrim above Morrowind really bothers me. That makes it sound like it's based upon just the flashy graphics, which it can't be, because several of their other picks have been old graphics, so not totally sure what they were thinking here. So let's move on to number 6. Diablo 2. Now, alright, I'm going to accept this even though I never played Diablo. It never ever appealed to me. When people describe it to me, they describe it the same way as you would describe a grind fest. And not appealing. I played, the nearest I've played to that type of game would be Hellgate London and Borderlands, I guess. And I enjoyed Hellgate London minimally, and I enjoyed Borderlands a lot. It's whether I would even class them as RPGs. I guess they are, if you classify RPGs as, just about the stats and the character development and the leveling. And some people do, so I guess it is. And therefore, I guess I understand why Diablo's up here. I guess it did break ground, so alright, fair enough. Not my cup of tea, but not going to argue with it. Final Fantasy, yeah, RPG. 5th best ever? I'm not sure why. I am really, really not sure why they would think that. I think whoever wrote this list was a hardcore Final Fantasy fan. They've got 2 of them in the top 10. Pretty amazed by that. Let's never ever speak of that. Ever. Yeah, I mean, I suppose we should. I'm not saying RPGs have to be good graphics because I'm a big fan of Ultima. I'm not even saying they have to be serious. I love comedy games. I love comedy adventure games, stuff like Day of the Tentacles, etc. I mean, I know that wasn't an RPG. I don't mind games that are, tongue in cheek. Fourth best RPG ever? Really? I mean, I didn't play it, but can someone tell me, was it that good? Fourth best? I mean, I obviously missed the hype around Pokemon, the RPG, but fourth best? Really, really, really? What, better than Mass Effect? Better than Fallout 3? Better than Dragon Age? Better than Ultima? But I mean, really? Because if so, you know what? I'm going to find a copy of it and play it. Okay, so number 3, Baldur's Gate. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Baldur's Gate. It's like, the Neverwinter Nights type games. Yeah, solid RPGs, very enjoyable. Definitely not top 3. I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm not bothered by the inclusion of this in the top 100 list, but to have it so high, I find that a little weird. And this one I never played, so will not comment. And then Final Fantasy. I don't know. I mean, it seems to be a list written by one person, in my opinion, because if you'd have got 6 or 7 people together, the top 10 list would have included, I think, at least one of the Deus Ex games. Well, Deus Ex 1, obviously. I think Dragon Age would have got in there. Knights of the Old Republic would have got in there, I think. At least top 20. So I mean, I may go and check. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to check the top 20 and see if I see anything. Alright, EverQuest. I liked EverQuest again. Yeah, System Shock 2. System Shock 2 was an awesome game. The System Shock games were brilliant. Loved those. Would have placed those higher than a lot of the top 10. Dark Souls didn't play. Earthbound didn't play. Diablo, we've covered Diablo. Not played. I mean, there's a lot of... Oh dear. Here we go. Knights of the Old Republic 12. Alright, now you see... knowing that they put that as 12... Okay. And I mean, it's very close to Fallout 3 and Mass Effect. So, alright, they've added Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, alright, so it made it there, I guess. And then 11 was... Final Fantasy... Right, I mean... I'm sorry, but this list is way too Final Fantasy heavy. Way too Final Fantasy heavy. Maybe this is just my natural PC gamer bias coming in. I'm not a huge, big fan of console-style games, flashy manga, huge, big sword games. So, alright. And there's nothing wrong with those. It's just not my personal taste. Not my personal taste. So, yeah. On the whole, though, this list, it was always going to be controversial. But, yeah. IGN, we still love you, but nope. No. This list was somewhat inspired by a bowel movement from a bovine creature. So, there you go. There's my take on it. Flame away.